So far in the 2009 Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup season, the tour has been to Georgia, to California, and now to New Jersey. This is the first of two doubleheader weekends on the season. Only two drivers have won these races thus far this year. Will one of them repeat, or will a new face arrive in victory lane? Welcome to New Jersey Motorsports Park. We're in Millville, New Jersey for coverage of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup. Today it's part of the Mazda Formula X weekend. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Elliot Forbes Robinson is alongside. Derek Bertasiglio will have our pit road coverage a little later on. Well, the first race of the season, a driver named Todd Lamb from Atlanta, Georgia, didn't appear at Road Atlanta, his home racetrack. Since then, though, he's been the dominant player in this series, and Elliot, he's qualified quickest again here.
By a substantial margin. And I think he's going to have a tough time still to win because it seems the cars run very close together. But I think Mark Miller has got his work cut out to try and beat Todd Lamb.
And young gun Justin Piscatell will be on the front row alongside Lamb when we get going in just a couple of moments. Meantime, let's get the thoughts of the driver who will lead him to green in a few moments. Let's check in with Derek.
Well, Todd Lamb is on the pole again today. He's starting a trend. Every time he gets the pole, he wins the race. And Todd, is that a good omen?
Well, Derek, it's always a good omen. I mean, anytime you can rack up as many points as possible for an event, that's the way to go about it. And this particular series, the Playboy MX-5 Cup awards a extra point for poles. So that's what we're after, is to gain maximum points every weekend.
You got the pole yesterday, you got the pole today, but your time was quicker. You picked it up by a few tenths of a second. What was it that made you faster?
Well, we worked on the car a little bit. We were actually on the scale pad up until about 5 minutes before qualifying this morning, trying to adjust a little bit for the weather. And it is quite a bit cooler today. So basically, you know, we're making a lot more power just because of the cool air, and I think that's really the difference.
Well, guys, track position is very critical at this racetrack, and Todd Lamb has got it today, starting on the pole.
Yeah, he is going to be tough to deal with here this afternoon. Take a look at our starting lineup. Lamb out of Atlanta, Georgia. That's the AMG Luna C machine, the 84. Justin Piscatell in the DAMG Motorsports. That's the yellow car you see there. He'll line up alongside Mark Miller, who was second yesterday. Nick Mancuso will line up alongside in the 29 out of Chicago. Row number 3 looks like this here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Mark Jenkins out of the Dallas area, one of the Traxxas machines, a two-car team. Dean Copeland's car number 7, qualifying 6th quick here. Brett Smurs out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and Zach Ply, who had a great run here one day ago, but he has to come from 8th on the grid. 5th row, Chris Rhodes. Team Alara principal Aaron Malkasian, and Elliot, he has not qualified well yet this season.
Well, he's had some good races, but something has always happened to him, and ours is actually a lot better than he's showing so far this year. It's good to see the team car up on the front row because Piscatell has been doing a super job. Had a great race yesterday with a podium finish, and maybe we can get another one today for them.
Lionel Kent from Tennessee, Mike Jenkins, Stan Wilson, who's also from Tennessee, from Mount Juliet. He has trouble qualifying well.
He has trouble qualifying, and in every race, he was on the podium at Laguna Seca. Yesterday, he moved from 14th to 7th. Today, he's back in 15th again. So he's fast. He's just not really quick while he's qualifying.
Al Caiola, the last of our 19 qualifiers for today's race. This racetrack can be a tough one for these drivers to come to grips with, can't it?
It's actually a very tough track and very hard to pass here. But I think that the time that they had at the early part of the week was it raining, and they didn't get a lot of time on the track and dry.
2.25 miles, 12 turns around here. Finding a passing zone can be pretty darn difficult at the Thunderbolt course at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Door to door, Piscatell trying to find a way on the outside. They're 4 wide heading toward turn 1.
And it looks like Mark Miller is giving Lamb a little push there to try and get himself up, but it doesn't look like he got by Piscatell. As a matter of fact, he got squeezed a little there. Nobody ran off the track. What a surprise. That's a tough corner to get everybody through side by side.
Randy Hale, a couple of cars put a wheel off. Everybody stays on the pavement, which is where you want to be in these cars. It was a wild one here yesterday, a wild one here last fall for the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup. Mark Miller moves to 2nd spot now, and Nick Mancuso in the tire line of machine. He got caught up in a wreck early yesterday. He's up to 3rd already.
Looks like Justin made a little mistake there, Piscatell, and ran off the road and let a couple guys by. Now he's going to be anxious to get back by Mancuso. But looks like Mark Miller's in 2nd where he was in the last race. Oh my gosh, is that Smurs going? No, it is not.
1 car off, it might be. It is the 6 of Brett Smurs. Look at the nose they had to put on that car overnight.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the nose. Yeah. It was red yesterday.
Brett Smurs, who had a trouble-filled day here. He's very quick, but a lot of these guys are young drivers, Elliot. The discipline part of this is what they lack sometimes.
Well, it is hard. You know, you've got a car that should be able to run there, and you want to run there badly up a position, so you tend to overdrive the car, and it's pretty easy to overdrive the car. Oh, he got a little help this time.
Might have been Dean Copeland there in the 7 who got into Brett Smurs, turned him around coming through that left-hander, sent him to the grass. Smurs will be able to get back on the race course and continue. About to complete lap number 1, and Todd Lamb, where he has been, Elliot, almost since the drop of the green at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, almost a month ago at the head of the field.
And he is. But you know, we saw this yesterday in the last race, that he jumped out of lead. But after he got in the lead, Mark Miller was able to gather him back up and close in on him, and we had a great race from then on. Looks like some great racing back in the back, too. They are rubbing and bumping and running really close to each other. But I think that we'll have a good race up front. I don't think Lamb is going to be able to just drive away from Mark Miller. I think you're going to see him close up the gap some.
Top 5 are nose to tail. There's Zach Ply's machine. Ply turned in a really good run here today. Qualified, well, back in 8th, not very strong in the qualifying effort. Qualifying was this morning for today's race. And for these drivers and teams in the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup, to qualify and race on the same day, that's a tall order sometimes.
Well, it is. And the other thing they had, even though these cars aren't really as critical as some other cars, it still was a lot cooler, and track temperature is way down from where they were the other day. So you have to change tire pressures and get things set a little bit differently to make the cars work on a day like today.
This is the fight for 3rd spot. The 29, Nick Mancuso, he's from the Chicago area. That red and white machine, the tire line of car, he's got it right now. The DAMG 89, Justin Piscatell from Patterson, New York, trailing him. Piscatell, the driver with a great story to tell, won the Mazda Speed Shootout last fall, got this ride in the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup. His debut in pro racing has been very impressive so far.
Yeah, and he's running very well, too, and he's used his head, as we've seen, and got a good finish yesterday. But, you know, his boss is coming up right behind him, and he looks like he's got the strong car today. He had some problems yesterday, but maybe he'll be able to do something today, Era.
Piscatell swings to the inside to try to get by and pick up a spot on Mancuso. Era Malkasian, the other yellow car in your picture on the right of your screen. He's 5th. He started 10th. He is on the move, and right behind him, one of the Jenkins brothers. That's Mark in the 25 car. He's given up a spot to Era Malkasian. Great battle here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th are nose to tail.
Yeah, I think Malkasian is looking to go to the front today. But look at this. Mark Miller has closed up some of the gap, and almost all of it on the Todd Lamb. So it looks like we're going to have a heated battle up front.
Now, that incident on lap number 1, as we take you back to that battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, when Brett Smurs got knocked off the racetrack, SCCA Pro Racing officials have said, Dean Copeland, you committed an infraction, so there will be a penalty assessed to Copeland. We'll be right back with more of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Coverage today of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup at New Jersey being brought to you by Mazda. On any given weekend, more Mazdas a road race than any other brand. By BF Goodrich Tires, take control. And by Playboy Magazine, the ride of your life.